Welcome back to Andersen Acres. We're out here with Arwen again today, and she's being a little sweetheart. She's such a good girl. Yeah, lots of rubs. Good girl. But we're out here with Arwen today because today we are going to talk about meat goats. And that's actually what Arwen is. Nobody panic, especially not Arwen. But Arwen is indeed a meat goat. She's a myotonic, a fainting goat, and they are primarily raised for meat. You're not raised for meat. You're a pony. So they are primarily used for meat. Now, we are not using her for meat. I'm spinning around me. We are not using her for meat. She is a pet. But her breed is traditionally raised for meat. And you have a mess on your mouth. Good boy. Anyway. Oh, good. A little bit of pooping. Good job. So, meat goats. First of all, when you're breeding meat goats, so if you're looking at, I'm going to turn this way, but if you're looking at what breeds make a good meat goat, you have to kind of understand a few things about meat goats. So they are bred, first of all, for muscle mass. So if you look at this girl, she is freakishly thick. Okay, not fat. She's not fat. She doesn't have a lot of fat. She's actually pretty lean. But she has got ridiculously big muscles under here. Now, she's fluffy, but underneath this fluff, she's just solid muscle. Okay, this girl is solid muscle. That's because meat goats are bred to be solid muscles. They have a really high muscle mass. They also are bred to be really, really hardy. Okay, and when I say really hardy, I mean they can take your cold temperatures, because when you're breeding animals for meat, you don't want to have to be so delicate with them. You don't want to have to be like, well, I guess you have to live in a barn with a lot of heat and perfect conditions and all that. Bah. So you don't want to have to do that. So they're bred to be incredibly hardy. They're also bred to be adaptable for many of the same reasons. You want them to be able to live in the desert, and you want them to be able to live in the cold mountains. So they're bred to be adaptable. They are also bred to have a really high feed to flesh conversion ratio. What does that mean? That means that you get more meat for less feed. Also, just chewing my shirt. But you get more meat for less feed. Okay, so that means that when it comes to a dairy goat, for example, you put a lot of feed into them, but they don't get this chunkiness because they're bred to be a little more delicate, because they're bred for milk. So if you have a dairy goat, you put more feed into them and you get a less chunky goat. If you're dealing with a meat goat, you want to put less feed into them and still end up with a nice chunky goat, which is what we have here. Hi, coming back. Done bothering the chickens? Awesome. Good boy. Bothering the chickens. Anyway, where'd the goat go? Goat ran away. She's over here. So those are some of the things that meat breeds all have in common. A meat goat breed has in common. Okay, those few things. Let's go follow her. I think she's going inside. Where are we going? No? So some of the common breeds, at least in North America, there are meat breeds all over the place. Okay, so some of the common breeds, some of the common breeds you might see is one, boars. Okay, boar goats are incredibly popular meat breeds. Stop biting my arm. Stop it. It's a bad pony. So you might have boar goats because they're a really popular meat breed. One of the most popular, I would say. We're just going to move it to the barn because that's where she is. Anyway, so boar goats, really, really popular. You also have the myotonic, like Arwen. Thank you. The fainting goats. They're incredibly popular for meat because they're small and they're bulky and they've got a good feed to flesh conversion ratio. Thank you. Thanks. Anyway, that's not the point. Walk, walk, walk. You might also encounter the Tennessee meat goat, specifically bred to be a meat goat. They're fantastic. The pygmy, which is the African pygmy. I know they're small, but they're really a great meat goat. They're actually fantastic. You might find the New Zealand Kiko. I really like the Kiko as a meat goat because they also have a good personality. That's also why I like the fainters. So my recommendation for a small farm is to pick a breed that also has pretty good personality so you don't get so annoyed with the goat because they can be a little annoying. You also have your combo breeds, so if you blend meat breeds, you tend to get a really nice meat goat. So you have the Tex-Master, sometimes called the Tex-Mex. They're a combination of the Boer and the Tennessee meat goat. You also have the Gene Master. The Gene Master is a Boer Kiko cross. Again, really good meat goat. And you can find them all over the place. If you're looking at a commercial type operation, you're likely to find a more generic Spanish meat goat because they're cheap, they're easy to raise, their personalities aren't great, they can be a little bit annoying, but they're still really, really good meat goats because they have that the feed to flesh conversion ratio down pat. They're just not nice goats. So if you're looking for a small farm, you might want to skip those generic Spanish meat goats and get something like a Myotonic or like a Kiko because they're friendlier. But large-scale commercial operations often use that more generic Spanish meat goat. I am going to wrap up now because the chickens are loud. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to wrap up because the chickens are loud and Arwen is scratching. And next time we'll come back and we will talk about fiber goats. No, Arwen is not a fiber goat. She is not a fiber breed. Be quiet. But I will talk about fiber goats and what breeds you might want to incorporate if you're looking to raise goats for fiber. That's it for now. We'll see you tomorrow.